Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You are watching the Play Raidcall DotA2 Cup. This is sponsored by SteelSeries, Azo, MSI, and Raidcall. You are watching a match between Complexity and ex-GoSu. This is a finals. This is the best out of three. I am the Goods Volume 1 from Dota Live. I am with Dotalicious Aussie. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. It's good to see this game finally get on its way. We've been waiting a while. So
Yes, sir.
It's going to be a blast casting with you again. I love it. I really do.
Absolutely, man. You are the man. The first two bans, Leshrac and Chen. Leshrac, obviously a very strong hero. Chen is just one of the better supports in the game, so pretty standard. Ooh, Morphling. What do you think about the Morphling ban so early?
It's unusual for me to see him come out that early. I usually see him in the second ban phase because that's generally when the teams pick up their hard carry kind of hero. But maybe they know something we don't about ex-GoSu. I did manage to catch a little bit of the games yesterday, and I do remember Morphling coming out that was pretty damn strong. So it could have something to do with that, but let's play it out and see what happens.
The Invoker ban being used by ex-GoSu now. I'm surprised to see Shadow Shaman, Lycan, heroes like that still on the board. Very, very, very strong pushing heroes. Yep.
Well.
Furion. Yep. Furion ban.
That's a very typical standard.
He's pretty
ban.
standard.
Him
Yeah,
along
yeah.
with Invoker are just, you don't want them in the pool unless you really have first pick and you're 100% sure that you're going to pick them yourself.
Absolutely.
The teams to get rid of them.
This is going to be an interesting ban. They got Tidehunter. They got Lycan still out. You have Shadow Shaman. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see which hero selected here. Brewmaster as well. Yeah, right.
If I was ex-GoSu, I would ban the Panda. I mean, Jo has been completely dominating the games with Panda in every single complexity game. Both we've been casting and I've been watching on my own as well over the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely. I remember him. Yeah, because in the DreamHack qualifier especially, he basically was a one-man show with that Lycanthrope going off. Yep, I was surprised. I was surprised to see the Morph pick instead of him, but that's pretty interesting. Wow. Now
it's pretty good first pick. I mean, they're showing what kind of lineup, both what kind of lineup they want, and making sure that they grab himself. Otherwise, one of the teams would have banned him. And I think that Morphling, I agree completely. The Morphling ban was a little bit strange, but considering what heroes are left in the pool, just like you're saying, you got the Sand King, you got the Tidehunter, you got both the Shadow Demon and Shadow Shaman. You have Dark Seer, and of course you got the Lycan as well. And you really don't want that guy going wild on you. I'd rather play with him than against him any day of the week.
Completely agree. Oh, when you have the Enigma pickup, I personally think Enigma is an extremely risky pick, but that's pretty interesting to see him be first pick to show they can go Venomancer, Tidehunter, Shadow Shaman to solidify the middle against Beastmaster. I mean, they have a multitude of options at their disposal here. I really think the Morphling ban actually set them up for a pretty good first pick in Lycan, and I think now it's just going to carry through. Do you think that they're going to continue with the push strategy, or do you think that they may end up more team fight oriented so that they can let Lycan, farm up, and then he can just take as many towers as he wants whenever he wants?
I think they're going to go for a little bit of a more push strategy, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, they did ban Furion, but that's probably because there's one of the Lycan as a first pick, and they don't want to risk ex-GoSu getting it. But no, Lycan isn't one of those heroes where, I mean, in a public game, sure, you can leave him alone and just let him farm for 30 minutes and get Roshan once or even twice before you start doing proper team fights and pushes. But in high-level games like this, because this is a very high-level game, it's going to be really nice to see.
Yeah,
you don't generally let the game go that long before and let him be that farmed up. I mean, he is powerful early as well. His wolves do insane damage, and if he picks up a medallion, he can do the Roche standard strategy, but he can also pick off heroes so quickly together with ultimate. A nice crit with medallion on, and HP just disappears.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree. I kind of thought that they were going to go push. It's interesting to see a Darkseer pick up. He's probably going to go Suicide lane, I think, and he'll be Ion Shell farming that lane. I actually really like the pickup with the Lycan. Especially with his, as soon as his ultimate's active, just pop Iron Shell on him and he becomes a formidable foe. And you have the Venomancer pickup, which I thought was going to end up being selected. Who do you think the third pick is going to be from ex-GoSu, considering the other the other lineup that they have is so strong?
wouldn't surprise me to see a Tidehunter. A Tidehunter is perfect synergy together with Enigma. A Sand King possibly as well. They do have 2 stuns though. I mean, the Beastmaster stun is ultimate stun is very, very nice together with Enigma just to set it up to. But the problem with it is that it explodes the heroes outwards a little bit and is really good for picking off one hero, but not for pushing the team together. So I'm looking for something that has a little bit of AoE and is still in a support kind of role. And it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Just like I said, I think the Sand King or the Tide. That's my guess at least, but you never know. I mean, the Enigma first pick was a surprise, so you don't know what they're going to be pulling out of the hats.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I would really like to see a Tide pickup because Tide can either set up Enigma or be the devastating follow-up to Enigma's Black Hole. But it's pretty interesting to see so far how long they're taking. A lot of bonus time has been used up by both these teams, so they're really thinking about all these picks.
Can you, I'm not able to, I'm just going to go check if I can turn up my sound a little bit. There's a few people saying that I'm a little bit too low, so give me 1 second, I'll be right back.
I need pickup. That's actually pretty strange, and I am loud according to some people, so I'm going to lower myself. Hopefully this is much better.
I can't raise myself anymore, unfortunately. So if you could lower yourself just a little bit, then we should be about even.
I fixed myself.
Perfect.
Sorry guys, I apologize for that little disruption there. We got a Tiny pickup. So do you think Tiny's going to go middle, or do you think Beastmaster's still going to go middle? Because they have 2 very strong mid heroes that they've selected already.
They've got
so
3.
Really
do not underestimate Enigma middle as well. I mean, I don't think they're going to do it, but occasionally do see it. And a good Enigma player, solo mid, is incredibly strong. But no, in this case, well, it depends on the last couple of picks as well. It depends if you take out a utility hero or if they're going to go for a little bit more DPS style. I'm unsure. It's way too early to say. But I do love the synergy of Tiny. And if it's so beautiful to watch games where you see an Enigma cast Black Hole, miss one hero, and Tiny blinks in and tosses him into it. I've seen it happen a few times, both in public games and in one scrim as well, and it just makes your heart melt of joy. It is so nice to see. But and that Avalanche AoE stun is just perfect as well to set heroes up. I mean, the Tide is banned, so and now the Sand King as well is banned, which are 2 perfect bans in my opinion. But so that Avalanche is going to help them a lot. And then the DPS.
Yeah, Enigma could even suicide solo.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Enigma's really, really strong. He's one of the most flexible heroes in the game, in my opinion, when it comes to laning him. I mean, if you don't get the choices you want in a lineup and you're thinking about putting him in a jungle, you can put him in a side lane. If you don't get the DPS hero that you wanted in the middle, maybe, or something to level up quickly, or you want to go over a bit more push strat, then you can put him in the middle as well. And I mean, once he levels up those Eidolons, they do a huge amount of damage. And he as long as you don't feed the Eidolons, you're denying XP and being able to harass the enemy with them. The only downside is if you're against a mid hero that has a lot of AoE. I mean, you don't really want to do it against a Sand King or Windrun or even a Pugna and heroes like this. But I mean, generally he's just so adaptable, and that's what I love about Enigma. He is a bit of a glass cannon though, and that's one of the reasons I don't play him too often in both scrims and pubs, to be honest. But I love that hero. I've been a big fan of him ever since he was implemented.
The Windrunner final ban, which is a very good selection. It takes away a suicide option. And also, chat, am I fine now? I've lowered myself pretty low, actually. So, please, by all means, guys, let us know if we're too loud or still too low.
Yeah, you need to lower yourself a little bit more, apparently.
Okay.
You might have seen that.
Yeah. I am reading Raidcall.
But yeah, this Queen of Pain coming out as the last ban now for XGoSu. And that is one of those really, really strong heroes as well. I mean, she generally, you want to put her mid just to level up a little bit quickly. She does kind of work in a side lane together with a dagger to slow, and then she does have that scream, and she's got the escape mechanism of a blink. So I mean, she's a viable hero in that sense, but she just does a ton of AoE, and if you don't pick her, you really don't want her to go against you. I mean, once she jumps into a fight, she's doing nearly 1k damage in an AoE. And that is just way too much, at least at level 16.
Yeah, absolutely. And then compound that with Gale and a Poison Nova. That's just a lot of magic damage you're taking unnecessarily. Okay, now a Vengeful Spirit 4th pickup. I actually really like that pickup. Very, very, very strong pickup. by complexity.
10 seconds remaining.
It's the beautiful counter
what do
to
you think
Enigma.
the fourth pick?
It's one
Yeah,
of the direct
absolutely.
counters to Enigma in the game, so it really doesn't surprise me to come out. Also, his aura is great together with the Wolves and Lycan. Obviously, it gives Veno a little bit as well, but that's negligible. The armor reduction is great as well, together with, if they're going to go to Medallion and Lycan build, then that's perfect, just DPSing down the heroes very quickly because of that. And obviously the swap is just perfect to counter the Enigma Black Hole, as long as Venge stays out of the fight. And as soon as Enigma pops it, she's just going to swap him out. So yeah, and I mean the stun is great as well.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because you are this is why you're the man, by the way. Because in my mind, I was hoping you would touch on that. If Enigma is obviously countered by VS, and everyone knows that, why didn't they spend that fourth pick? Wouldn't you allow Sand King to be on the Radiant side, considering their first two picks were already melee heroes, and that is probably going to mess up the fluidity of your lineup, especially your lane composition? Why do you think they spent it on the Sand King as opposed to the Vengeful Spirit, knowing that Vengeful Spirit was still on the board and could have been bannable?
That's a very, very good point, to be honest. Now that you say it like that, yeah, it doesn't really make sense. I mean, they had two melee heroes. They're not generally going to go for third, at least not at that early. But at the same time, and Sand King's one of those standard great picks in any lineup. I mean, he's got the best. He has single-handedly got one of the best spells in the game. It's a stun that is AoE. It's got range. It's an escape mechanism. It's also a dodge mechanism, and he does a lot of AoE damage, and maybe they doesn't want to face that. And together with the Veno ulti, it does a ton of damage. If you can pop those both on at least 3 heroes, then they're pretty much screwed. But yeah, no, when you say it like that, it got 2 melee heroes. I think they might have forgotten about Venge, to be honest. I don't think it was any other case than that.
That's what I kind of thought. And then a Witch Doctor follow-up from ex-GoSu, clearly trying to take advantage of their early strength with Tiny. I believe Tiny would be laning, then Razor, who's a typically good anti-carry. The Dragon Knight pickup is something I'm really surprised to see. Do you think they're going to tri-lane this with Vengeful, Veno, and DK? Because
it's really hard to tell, because they got they have 2 heroes
he can
that could
suicide
possibly
pretty well
jungle
too because of the wolves.
Exactly. And I mean, Darkseer works both in the lane and in the jungle, but I can't really tell about how they're going to lane it. But I do know that the DK, that's going to be their tank hero. It's definitely going to be the one absorbing a lot of damage from the enemy team, and as well as his ultimate. I mean, once he reaches level 6, he's great at pushing towers, and together with the Lycan, maybe that's what they're going to do. Exactly. Then he's got the AoE slow splash, and I mean, anyone worth their DK gold is not going to level the level 11 ultimate. At least not if you're going to do a push strategy. But yes, I mean, it looks a little bit like they want to take towers early, but at the same time, the GoSu team have a very early game as well. But they won't scale as well into late game unless the Tiny gets really, really strong early, and same with the Razor. I mean, the Tiny, once he gets Aghanims and some attack speed, then he can push towers really, really quickly. But late game, I think, personally, I think Complexity have the upper hand. At least according to the lineup now.
I completely agree. All right, so a little bit of a programming interlude here. Okay, guys. Today is the last day of Dota Live's contest on Facebook, so please make sure to sign up, follow us. We'll be posting questions at the end, and we'll be giving out beta keys. On the Facebook note, on facebook.com/Fnatic, you can vote for the MVP of the match, of each match, I believe, or the tournament. You can win a prize. The prize is a very nice Fnatic backpack. For those of you that haven't seen it, by all means, please go look them up on their Facebook. It's facebook.com/Fnatic once again. Additionally, a Fnatic White Retro t-shirt will be given away if you download Raidcall. It's a free program that actually we're using right now. Anyone can download it. You can create a group. You can join, chat. It's basically like TeamSpeak and Skype. Very good quality, very easy to use, extremely accessible because it's obviously free. If you enter the Raidcall Play Cup after the finals, you have to join the group a Fnatic. The ID is 133714. I repeat, the ID is 133714. You have your shot to obtain the Fnatic white retro T-shirt, and don't worry if you've missed it, because we're going to be shouting that out throughout the entire telecast, all 3 games. So, I mean, a good bit of information, but for those of you, just to recap, Facebook.com/DotaLiveNet, Facebook.com/Fnatic, and you can enter to win prizes and all this good stuff. So yeah, now that we got that out of the way in that extremely long pause, do we know why they're paused, by the way, or?
I'm just guessing standard strategy talks, but no, there's been no other information that I've seen at least.
Well, on the Dire side, we have Painted Gold on Razor, Eevee on Tiny, Solara on Beastmaster, Last Hit Magic. I hope he does have some Last Hit Magic on Enigma, Mikey on Witch Doctor. On Complexity side, and that, by the way, the Dire side is ex-GoSu. On Complexity side, on the Radiant, you have Complexity's Fluff and Stuff, Complexity's JO, Complexity's TC, Hannah Montana, and Mike in the game. Mike is on, or Mike88, I should say, is on Vengeful Spirit. Hannah Montana's a Darkseer. TC's on DK. Lycanthrope is played by JO. And Fluff and Stuff is on Veno. I am really, really, really curious to see how this lane composition ends up. We're going to have 5-man 1 gank? 5-man level 1 gank? ex-GoSu. ex-GoSu seems to be traveling down the Dire's long lane as a cohesive unit. And I think they're going to be the jungle. Solara intelligently destroying the trees to look for any impending doom. It's actually a very good job.
Yeah, being able to pick up that side early is really, really important.
Yes. 5-on-1. Surge is not selected. Hannah Montana sees him. Okay.
Yeah, that's really, really bad. You don't want to skill a Darkseer anything until you need it, and that goes for all heroes in the game, in every match, public, high-level scrim, or clan wars, or finals like this. Never skill your hero until you need that skill. I mean, in a case like Darkseer, for example, now he might need Surge just to get away, if in case they were going further into the jungle. Sometimes you need Windrun on Windrunner, sometimes you need Shackle, sometimes you need a Power Shot. It completely depends. And I mean, I don't like seeing that kind of thing. Kind of disappointing.
We seem to have another pause. I'm not sure what this one is for. We apologize, obviously. You know, a lot of things happen. We have a lot of art being drawn on the map. I'm not really sure if you guys can see that, but it's pretty interesting. That's what people do when they're bored. I'm surprised to not see the one thing that everybody always seems to draw, which we'll stay away from. But you guys who have played on the ladder, you guys know.
No, describe it. I don't understand. What do you mean? Is it like is it something you can recognize visually, or is it a number or a name? Is it maybe an appendage of some kind? Pleasing. So aesthetically it's not okay.
Yeah.
I guess that makes you heterosexual.
Yes.
Alright, so going back all forward, that's interesting actually. I don't understand. Okay, yeah, the Beastmaster's gone all the way back to base to man up again. He's reaching his mana. Exactly. So this is destroying those trees to give a bit of sight early. I like that actually. Just blasting out to the lane really, really quickly, using the axes, and then going back to the fountain.
So it's like ex-GoSu is gonna have Tiny going middle, and you're gonna have a tri-lane top. Ooh, is it gonna be Razor? No, it's gonna be Razor middle with the tri-lane going top. Enigma, I believe, is just gonna jungle, so we'll have a 2-1 lane. Top lane Dire side with the one being the jungler. Pretty simple compositions on Complexity side. The DK is probably just going to try to get as many levels as he can. He's going to be middle against Razor. The tri-lane for Lycan will be top, and solo is Hannah Montana on Darkseer.
I just want to point out a little funny thing that happened in mid. Lycan sent his wolves to the bottom rune, and they did see a region there, and the wolves destroyed it, obviously, because no one needs it. And the Enigma saw it, so he converted the wolf to a Eidolon creep. getting that little bit of quick gold just early, and then going back to the base to fountain up his mana again before going to the jungle.
Nice. Looks like he's gonna try to pull into the. Nope, it's actually not. Nope, the outer lines are gonna pull that camp all the way out. Complexity intelligently warding the pull. This is definitely not gonna help the Dire team at all. Oh, is he gonna get caught? He got caught. Witch Doctor's gonna let him go. He's actually gonna manage to escape there. Meanwhile, mid lane, pretty standard stuff going on. You have DK with a bottle first, spamming his Breathe Fire. 7 CS already. Razor only has 2 CS, at this point. It's a mismatch early on. Razor cannot outlast hit DK at all, so it's going to be pretty interesting.
I mean, a DK with a bottle or even a Soul Ring,
Bot
which is my
lane,
favorite
Ion
item
Shell,
on it.
really doing a lot of damage. I'm sorry to interrupt you. We're really doing a lot of damage. Solara's in a world of hurt. Darkseer, played by Hannah Montana, is just Ion Shelling, using Surge to get in range, just continuing to harass that way. Yeah, he has 11 CS at this point with 4 denies, 2 CS by the Beastmaster. Even though he is Suicide, that is still a really large margin to be losing by so far. It's actually pretty early.
He's going to have a hard time in that lane. I mean, he did pick up Magic Stick, so at least every time he does cast Iron Shell, he's going to get a little bit more mana and HP regen from those charges, which is a good pickup. Really important for him to get that early as well. But, I mean, he's not going to be able to do anything until he hits at least level 5. And considering how he's skilled in a beast instead of the summons together with axes. So, yeah, I mean, there's no point in having the summons anyway. But, I mean, I would skill 1 level at least at a Hawk. Because Iron Shell is not going to touch the Hawk, and it does give sight.
I completely agree with you. And I think the pets are always good to have for his blindside, considering he really only has the 1 ward, and that ward is pretty negligible on site right now. I wanted to ask you something about this Venomancer, though. They're clearly trying to push these guys out of the lane. With Venomancer actually went Plague Ward. Fluff and Stuff is going Plague Ward. Do you think that they probably should go for more kills, considering they do have a Vengeful Spirit stun with a Gale, and then with the auto attacks, Lycan should be able to pick up a lot of kills here. I don't really think they need to push it. Why do you think they want to push it so badly?
The problem is, even if they do, let's say he skills a standard little bit more DPS support version of Gale and Poison Sting. The problem, and then the what's it called? The Venge gets out stun and the shout as well, the Wave of Terror. It's not going to help though, because both the Tiny and the Witch Doctor have an AoE stun or a bouncing stun, and they're going to be able to protect themselves quite well. And because of 3 heroes, that stun is going to be bouncing around. The Tiny does a lot of burst damage. I mean, a toss and a stun together. And they don't really want to do that. And because of 3 versus 2, they're just going to be hugging the tower. And to go in versus the tower with a cask bouncing on you and your allies, that's not a lot of fun. So I mean, the cask does not bounce on the plague wards, so it's better off going for that. And a bit of damage though. A stun coming out on the Tiny, he lost half HP from it. I mean, they can be aggressive, but going for the kill underneath the tower is going to be really hard. It's just, and especially with this Enigma pulling the lane. You can see that now. He's going to go for the pull and pull out creeps by the tier 2 tower.
I was going to mention that, yep. But he's going to be a little bit late, I believe. Yep, he's going to be late. You actually...
He will manage it, because the range of those creeps is a lot bigger than what you expect. I think it's about 900 for them to get aggro. So anyway, if you want to pull that camp, you have to pull it. You have to attack them between 3 and about 5 seconds, or 33 and 35 seconds.
The mid domination continues. A nice 30 CS score from TC to a 13 CS from Painted Gold, and Painted Gold has been struggling on HP this entire time. So I mean, that spam by this Dragon Knight is just all over the place. Speaking of spam, look at bot lane. Ooh, is Hannah gonna get this? No, Hannah's not gonna opt to tower dive intelligently, just getting back. But geez, this is not looking good for Solara. Solara has a total of 12 CS. Hannah's really close to this DK with first oh my goodness, 1 HP. Razor survives 1 HP from a diving DK, yep, top lane as well. I think he's gonna live only because of the healing support
only because of the heal.
Witch Doctor.
He went under 100 HP, and I mean, like I said, I mean, you can DPS them down a bit, but they don't want to tower dive. And intelligently enough, they didn't even try to do that. Just send the wolves,
absolutely.
even if you get a bit of XP, but you'll push them down a lot. I mean, you're gonna
Enigma's
have to have
coming
this
up
Enigma
behind.
come.
Yep, this Enigma's coming up right now, but Razor survives with 1 HP mid lane.
Dire's middle tower is under
That is just
attack.
incredible. If the Eidolon's doing some damage, doing some nice damage actually. Oh, they cast a stun. Oh, the Malphite goes off. Oh, we have a stun. Are we gonna see a Maledict? No, we don't have a Maledict. Enigma gets the first blood on Lycan. Jo just out of position there. Enigma coming from behind. Drops a nice Malphite, and just, man, those stuns that we were talking about earlier. Those stuns.
So much. And I mean, there's Eidolons as well. There's 6 of them, and each one of them do 38 damage. That is a lot of damage. I mean, considering the heroes now only do about 59, 60 around there. I mean, he's from tiny, but he's got a huge base damage. That is a lot of damage coming out of you, and them hitting you twice each. That is half your HP gone. So yeah,
and
very good game coming out
still
from
dominating mid lane, spamming Breathe Fire, obtaining complete room control. There is nothing that Pain and Gold really can do at this point. It's getting away from him really fast. Hannah Montana still dominating bot lane, but surprisingly, Solara's doing a very good job of staying out of trouble. No deaths so far. CS score is about halved at this point. You know, it's a little bit more than halved. Hannah Montana's doing a very good job farming. Top lane, we see Venomancer they're trying to backdoor these creep here. Yep, they're trying to get free creep. Yeah, they are really going for this tower push. They are really going hard for this tower push. Enigma's gonna help top. He's traveling top. I don't really. Man, you got to be very careful there, buddy. He's pushing a little bit high. Mike really wants to stun him. He's opting not to, which is a very smart job. Don't overextend. There's no need for it. This tower, they really want this tower badly.
Yeah, they're pushing the tower. They're doing it on all lanes.
Yeah.
They've taken the top tower down below half HP. The
Enigma
mid tower is about to go
like
down.
He's going to become a middle of the gank. TC ends up going for the rune top. Is he going to get the rune top? No, the rune is bottom. Unfortunately, no sight. No sight for either team.
Surprising. There's no really wards.
And then, as I say that, Mike 88 from Complexity drops a ward down. But yeah, that's the only ward on the board right now.
And one a top rune spot as well. But that's it.
Yep. They're still pushing. The Wolves are just, the Wolves are pushing top lane really hard. There's pings going off. I think they really want Enigma, but they're going to opt to back up. Yeah, these wolves are so powerful. These wolves
what's
are
interesting now with the gold
powerful.
graph, for example, is that the Radiant are leading by about 1.5k, but at the same time, the Dire have over 1k advantage in XP. So I mean, they're trading off gold for XP, and I mean that is a fair advantage. That is, it's fine. It's just all about getting the towers early, and I mean, like I said in the beginning, I think Complexity have a more powerful lineup late game.
Hannah Montana ends up killing. Oh wow! And Enigma ends up porting back intelligently. Unfortunately, did not get the kill. But what happened bottom lane was Darkseer tower dove with Ion Shell and Surge, and he eventually got Master. He eventually took down Solara, even though Solara actually used Primal Roar on the tower, and he still ended up going down. Pretty unfortunate. Enigma with a very good port ends up cleaning up the mess. Lycanthrope ends up getting a tower, and here we go. They're just pushing.
Yeah, that's exactly the lineup. It's beautiful to see on the DK. 2.5 gold now at the moment. I mean, he hasn't gone back to base once. He's out
53
both
CS as
leveling
well.
and out CSing him.
That
Actually,
tower
the levels are exactly even. I'm surprised to see that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the farm isn't, but
no,
he's done a good job.
Even close.
Yeah, Painted Gold has done a decent job not dying, even though he really almost died earlier with 1 HP, but he survived. we have 2 people porting middle now. We have Witch Doctor, we have Enigma. This tower is really deniable soon, so they have to be very careful. It looks like they're gonna set up for a gank on Hannah. No, they end up placing a ward. They opt to back up. Okay. Darkseer now looks like he's just gonna farm the jungle. Meanwhile, top lane you have the wolves and you have Lycan continuing to push forward. Korok's on Tiny. He's just going back and forth on the tower. Oh, you have Gale going off. Gale, I think, is just for the damage. Yep.
Exactly.
But Enigma and Witch Doctor opting to come up behind him, say, okay, we see you. We see. Nope. It looks like he's just gonna end up farming. Mid lane, same story. Razor picked up a bottle. He has treads. He has invis on it. And he's gonna go. He's going top. He's probably gonna go scout. They're probably gonna opt for a gank here.
Yeah, he sort of creeps walking down the ramp.
Yeah.
So he knows they're down there.
Yeah, he doesn't actually use the invis. Now he uses it, but they see it already. And Complexity intelligently is just gonna get out of there. I'm not really sure what he saved the invis for until he got spotted. I think he should have just went up the hill when DK couldn't even see it, but it's okay. It is what it is.
Very
man.
nice plague ward coming out from the Venomancer, giving the sight, saving him completely. I mean, a Razor invis isn't that big a deal unless he's got a stunner around and leveled up static link a little bit more than he has. I mean, then his DPS starts going wild, but not really that huge of a problem. But yeah, no, that plague ward giving sight, and intelligently enough, that is backed off. They're not going to take a fight uphill. No Saint.
See Lycan. Yep, and Enigma sees Lycan. He feels him. The Eidolons are fighting the wolves. You have bot lane. The same thing's going on. Solara's just playing very patiently, just sitting back. Hannah Montana has 68 CS, by the way. That is the most in the game, followed by TC's Complexity's TC on Dragonite. He has 63, and then Lycan with 67. So it's actually really interesting to see how well the Radiant team are farming. Complexity doing an amazing job early game.
Doing very well so far. I mean, it's been a bit of confusion up top in the jungle. A lot of back and forth and who's going to be initiating and who, and a lot of standoffs. But generally, I mean, Complexity are playing it safe at the moment, except for that one tower dive by Darkseer bottom. They generally they've been playing it very safe. And Enigma popping a dust off now together with the Rexar, and they're going to go push in for a gank.
Oh, and Enigma looks Black Hole is still up, but Enigma gets hit with a Gale. Fluffing stuff now. Oh, the Malphus and the stun by Korok, the follow-up stun by Witch Doctor, and he's going to go down by the axes by Solara. Solara also has a DD. Bot tower is being attacked, but they're only going to be... It's only a 1-kill advantage here. In that, I was really surprised to not see Solara actually use Primal Roar. I thought they probably could have caught Lycan again. Yeah, I would have thought that would have been a 2-kill advantage in that team fight. But I absolutely agree. I was really shocked to see him not use it, especially with a DD. But it's okay though, because they're now with the DD. They look like they're going to end up taking this tower. They're going to they're going to set up for it. The Eidolons are coming. The creep wave is right behind them. They have a ward to see extra ports. Not bad.
They give up.
Solara's actually going to opposite. Yep, they're going to TP to another lane. They're going to follow it up by TPing to another lane. I don't believe there were TPs. No, yeah, the Radiant just backed up. They didn't TP, so they can still TP bottom and defend this. I think what they were... I'm under the impression that ex-GoSu believed that there were ports going in top and that they can just go herky-jerky and just now push bottom, knowing that they can't push, or that they're not going to... Complexity's not going to be able to push bottom to help defend. But no, they actually just backed up in that team fight, and they're going back. They're jockeying for the same position. Complexity's in the enemy jungle, farming up that lane, trying to push that lane as hard as they can. Not much really has changed in the last few minutes.
No, it's like I said, both teams are playing it extremely safe.
Yeah. Oh,
nice vacuum coming out.
Malphus goes off, nice vacuum. Surge, Ion Shell with the wolves. Yeah, he's gone. There you go. Lycanthrope picks up another kill. Meanwhile, you have Mikey coming up, and you have Painted Gold coming up, but it is still a 2-on-3. You got to be very careful here. I'm surprised to see Lycan not use his ulti. Ooh, man. And you have Static Link going off. He's actually going to be able to get out of it. No, comes up, and axes go down. Is Jo going to be killed? No, max movement speed. Nice vacuum. Nice vacuum to save his life. Good job. Actually, very surprising to see Darkseer just continue to man up after that kill instead of backtracking, and it almost got everybody killed, but he ended up doing a good job. Hannah Montana picks up a free kill. Gale going off. Hannah Montana instantly ports bottom. Gale, oh, the toss. Korok with the toss back to his teammate. Unfortunately though, vacuum goes back down. Ion Shell continuing to come up. Surge is going to come up in 1 second, but you have a great port again by Enigma. Last hit magic, map awareness magic. This guy all over the place, intelligently saving teammates left and right. Oh, good job. Very good port.
Playing very well so far.
Saved his life. Good work. However, this is going to transition into a push bottom between Fluff and Stuff and Hannah Montana. Mid lane, this Dragonite still farming. Dragon Knight picks up Loathers though, first item. What do you think about that? He picks up Loathers. He picks up a Shadow Blade.
It's one of those items that it's one of those items where I get kind of disappointed. I saw one team go for a completely useless item early game just because I think it was Daedalus or something, and instead of going for something more intelligent.
So Hannah Montana's being acted upon. Oak gets stunned. Black hole's going off. Gale's gonna come up behind it, and it's still not gonna be enough. Last hit Magic and Korok are gonna be able to get this Darkseer. He just got Enigma got tossed. Malphus was dropped, and then Korok just came and he stunned and he went back up. I didn't mean to interrupt you. You can continue with the loadouts discussion.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is like one of those items that can make or break you. I mean, it's a lot of money, and you're investing into an item that is extremely situational. And fine, it's great to be able to come into a team fight, or it gives escape mechanism. It also gives a lot of burst damage when you attack them out of the invis. But all in all, I don't think it's such a great fight in clan games. It's one of those items where I really want to see it in public games a lot more, or a little bit more low skill scrims. Not in a game like this. I mean, you just know that the opposite team are smart enough to get dusts and sentries.
Yes, I completely agree.
Especially when you get it this early.
I didn't mind the non-BKB pickup because you don't want late game to have just a 5-second BKB. So I was really okay with him opting to go for something else. But I thought maybe an armlet would have been good. But oh wow, he actually is still trying to man up on Painted Gold. Painted Gold actually using Static Link and decides not to chase. I think they're going to try to set up for a gank bottom. They smoke gank. Smoke on its way. Oh, Mike's going to be out of position here with a double damage again by this Beastmaster. Beastmaster going to use Primal Roar. Who's going to use Primal Roar on? Oh no, instead you have a stun. But Witch Doctor follows it up with his own stun. Primal Roar going down. He misses a Maledict, but it's okay. Mike is going to go down anyway. Mike definitely just got a little bit out of position there. J.O. is able to escape with his ulti and shapeshift just being so fast. We have Lothars being activated. Oh, the DD goes down, the stun goes down. Oh, man. And the instant breath of fire, which takes him down from 300 HP, says, come on now, get some. Great job. Meanwhile, top lane is being pushed with the DD. Solara,
classic example of how to use
of that DD, farming a whole wave. Are we
gonna
have
running next to you?
It's
the first tower that xGoSu is going to have a chance to get.
But mid tower being denied by Enigma, opting to be aggressive on the DK and actually gets a deny. Uncontested deny too. DK didn't even think about attacking him. It's actually pretty interesting. And they actually defended top lane. So far, how do you think this game is going, and who do you think has the advantage?
So far, the advantage is definitely to complexity. I mean, looking at the gold graph, it's just over 4k, about 4.5k advantages them. XP wise, it is an advantage to the Dire side, as in xGoSu, but I don't think that plays any any important role in the game at the moment. I mean, they got maybe a little bit more levels on them, but that's just not going to help enough. I mean, they've lost all 3 outer towers. They've lost both towers in mid lane, and both top lane tower is nearly dead as well. And I mean, they haven't been able to touch more than the top tower for on complexity side. And I mean, just all that gold going to them in advantages. There's so much item advantage. On top of that, complexity won every single lane, not just in kills, but in not in kills, but in CS.
Tiny being acted upon, even though he has a blink, but it doesn't matter. Hannah Montana going down with an ion shot. Oh, Maledict is hit. Ulti by Mikey, the Witch Doctor ulti, huge! Ends up picking up a Darkseer kill. Wow! Darkseer ends up killing Beastmaster because of Ion Shell, but Witch Doctor completely turned that fight around. Hannah Montana had full life going in there, and a Maledict with his ulti completely salvaged that fight. DK, not having a lot of mana, was not able to actually breathe fire, but it's okay. He was able to ulti. Tiny Korok's picked up a blink here. He ended up still being out of position and getting caught, but do you think the blink is gonna have an important impact on the outcome of the rest of this game, considering the way that it's gone so far?
I mean, because the problem with having blink this late is that, I mean, not even this late, I mean, it's 20 minutes, but the problem with having blink in a game like this is that you have no map control. All your towers are gone, there's not enough wards out, and you need to be able to blink into initiate. And if you can't do that, I mean, it's wasted.
koRock, the Wolves taking his blink ability down. Is koRock going to be able to actually know the Wolves are going to hit him again? And no. Why do you think we didn't see a swap there by Complexity's Mike? You just think he was just trying to play it safe
yeah,
and he didn't want to get
no,
comboed?
he's just out of range, to be honest. His range is
yeah,
very,
it is
very
level
small.
1,
It's only
yeah.
600 at level 1. So I don't think he was able to reach him. Otherwise he would have seen the swap out, the stun come as well, and the DPS down.
Yeah, we just have the dire side farming in their jungle. Nothing really too particular here. Hannah Montana is pushing mid lane with fluff and stuff on Venomancer. You have Vengeful Spirit and Lycanthrope top lane pushing top. You have Dragon Knight pushing bottom lane, each of which are uncontested. Mid lane has some action now, but for the most part, they're still really doing whatever they want. And the Wolves harass on koRock is really bothering him. He's not even able to farm. He continues at he's continuing to have to run back every time. Man, just some complete map control here by Complexity. I'm actually really enjoying their gameplay right now. They're just doing an excellent job of controlling where ex-GoSu is going to be at all times.
I'm really liking the fact that they've got heroes in all 3 lanes, and they're not being pushed back by GoSu. As in, all 3 heroes in all 3 lanes are still able to push and be aggressive, and that just shows how dominant they are in the game at the moment.
Completely agree. Bot tower actually only has 280 life, so they're about to have all tier 2 towers down in a second here. If they decide to
point out the items on Jo. I mean, we were talking about Jo before, and when he uses his panda is just amazing. And now he's got the wolves instead. And I mean, he's good enough at micro, but he opted to pick up the necro book,
Yes.
and he's got Necromicon, and he's got level 2 of it so far. He's also got the Vlads in the medallion, just as I thought. I mean, that's a lot of DPS coming out. Dragon Knight's got the Maelstrom, as well as the Dark Seer as the Vanguard, and picked up an ultimate orb. So I'm going to see what he's going to be going for. If it's going to be Lincoln's, or if it's going to be Skady, or if it's going to be something else. Possibly a Hex, maybe? I don't know. What do you think that ultimate orb's for?
I'm actually surprised to not see a BKB on Dragon Knight. Going Maelstrom was pretty interesting. I thought that after the Lothars and after that Gold Misa. Oh, but look at this. Just narrowly missed
the kill
Jo
as well.
on and then Mike. Oh, is he gonna run into it? No, he's not actually. And I'm surprised koRock sees them. I'm surprised. Oh, now they go turning around, but only one hero turns around. Mikey's the only one that ends up turning around. This may actually be countered here. Nope, koRock is gonna end up taking out Mike. JO's gonna be able to get out of there once again with his ulti. He's just standing still for some reason. Okay, now yeah, he's gonna get back. Oh boy, Primal Roar going down. But it's gonna be Fnatic. He's still gonna get out of there. Meanwhile, bottom tower was taken and being pushed by Hannah Montana and TC while that entire exchange was going off. So all tier 2 top Complexity has not lost a tower. They have not lost a tower 24 minutes into this game. What are your thoughts on that one?
I feel sorry for them at the moment. Like I said, I mean, they have no map control at the moment, just because they've essentially got to sit in base and just walk outside. They can't go any further than that, and because of that, they're not able to farm. And because they're not able to farm, they're not able to get any map control. I mean, they can't be aggressive, because then it's going to lose. I mean, the opponents, as in Complexity, just have so much more gold.
Well, I think he's going to see Hannah here. Yep, he's going to see Hannah. Oh, being tossed back onto his team. You have the Malphus. You have everything going off. Oh, wow, look at the position battle here. Did you see that? That's pretty interesting. Look what ends up happening. They get vacuumed. They got vacuumed actually onto... Oh, Witch Doctor ends up going down. But they get vacuumed in a bad spot. They actually can't continue to engage a fight. Whoa. This is actually pretty interesting to see. Darkseer vacuums koRock. koRock is still stuck, but I think he's just doing this for sight. He's actually just going to wait. Oh, and koRock's actually going to pick up Mike. Mike out of position, going to actually... Oh, no, he actually gets a magic missile off. Lycan was right there. I'm really surprised that koRock didn't actually pick up that kill. An interesting engagement.
He didn't hit between.
Yeah.
I'm unsure if that is even allowed to do that. I mean, it's a funny kind of stuck thing you can do in public games as well, but I'm unsure if that's allowed in tournaments. That's completely up to the tournament. But there's a few spots on the map where you can put wards, you can stuck people with vacuum. And where he did it, he did it really, really well. And it's just one of the more unusual spots to do it. But yeah, no, I mean, Tiny tossing one of the guys down, and essentially, I mean, if that team fight would have been a 5-in-5, you would have had 3 guys out of the fray. and that gives a huge advantage. I mean, being able to completely immobilize 3 heroes out of 5 is just insanely good, and that's one of the reasons people hate Darkseer so much. I mean, there's so many small things you can do with him, and that's one of those. It's a classic thing. I mean, Force Staff Avenge is also one of the other ones. You can just Force Staff up a cliff and then swap the enemy hero up there. And as long as they're not anyone with the TP or Blink.
Darkseer looks like he's going to be completing a scythe here soon. And if you look at the gold and you look at the experience, the Radiant have almost an 8,000 gold advantage, but the Dire does have 1,500 XP advantage. So it's pretty interesting to see exactly how far this game has gone. All the gold from the towers seems to be going the way of Complexity. However, the additional 3 kills that ex-GoSu has, it's actually proving to be important because of that experience.
Yeah,
I'm actually so shocked to see them up on top on XP.
No, they were tower hugging the entire game, all of the lanes, which means that a lot of those creeps that were being killed behind towers weren't giving XP to Complexity. And that's why, I mean, they were leading in XP the entire game so far, not just because of the kills, but mainly because the creeps were behind the towers. So no, that's no big surprise for me at all. And then on top of that, you got Enigma, who spent a lot of time in the jungle, which gives another so-called free lane of XP. So that comes no surprise at all. It's the gold advantage, which is most interesting in this game so far.
TC's pushing bot towers, he's forcing ports, and again, look at how squeezed they are. Look at how just how pinned down they are to their own base. Complexity has total map control. I'm surprised. Why do you think they haven't decided to fight at Roshan and actually pick a fight with
picking up Blink Dagger now as well? I don't think they want to take a 5v5 fight at the moment. I mean, a 5v5 fight can go either way. It depends on who initiates and who gets the best spells off. I mean, Complexity have a lot more DPS in the Lycan, for example, and the Darkseer, Wall of Replica, Venomancer's ultimate. But at the same time, I mean, Razor with a static link coming out can do a lot of DPS if that sticks. The Raw and the Black Hole can disable the entire team, essentially. And then you got the Cask from Witch Doctor. So, I mean, both teams have been playing this entire game very carefully. I mean, they respect each other completely, and you can tell it's 28 minutes into the game now, or in 10 seconds, and there's only 13 kills on the board. That's not a lot. I mean, it's a lot about just facing off each other, feeling off each other, and this is the finals. I mean, either you can play in 2 ways. You can play safe, or you can play to really win. And when you play to win, it doesn't always pay off. And one bad team fight could turn this quite a lot.
I completely agree, but remember, TC is already level 17. He has at least a 3-level advantage on the highest ex-GoSu members, not to mention with Gale going off, with Breath of Fire going off, with an armor down reduction, Lycan's going to do more damage. You have Darkseer Ion Shell. I really think that they can actually force it, and even if they don't end up with a successful team fight, they clearly have the advantage. They can gamble here. They can gamble to jockey into better position, and even if it doesn't turn out the way that they want, they still have a huge lead, especially with the towers. Not one tower has been taken down by xGoSu. I kind of feel like they can actually gamble a little bit, and I think that gamble might actually pay off. It looks like right now the game has been resumed. You have xGoSu continuing down the mid lane. They're going to try to push down that mid lane. You have Last Hit Magic trying to prevent the Lycan Wolves and Lycan from pushing top lane. Korok is actually by himself right now, by Roshan. We have some pings going off. I'm not even sure if he wants to be there right now, considering he has Lycan coming in from behind. He has Hannah Montana and Fluff and stuff waiting right to his rear. Nope, and he's gonna go back. Mikey is gonna get harassed by wolves, and again, Complexity proving their dominance. They're just pinning them down. They're just pinning them down. They can't do anything. They cannot leave their base. They legitimately can't leave where their tier 2 towers were. I believe we're having some technical difficulties here with Aussie. I don't know where Aussie is right now.
Sorry, I have had a bit of a coughing attack. I'm sick at the moment, so I just muted.
Oh, it's okay. I apologize.
I didn't feel like all the viewers having to hear that.
Yeah. I cannot commend Complexity any more than I think I have today, because their total map dominance and total map control is unparalleled. They are clearly in control of this game, and it's not even close. They're split pushing and completely unafraid of any counterattacks.
I mean, I don't think I've seen Complexity go as a 5-man unit once this game. They don't need to. I mean, each one of their heroes is just so strong and so farmed at the moment, and they are so sure of themselves in their lead and in their dominance that they're not really bothering to do that. But the problem with it is, I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but I want to see this game end either in Complexity's favor or GoSu's favor. I'm not being partial to either team, but Complexity have such a huge advantage now. They need to capitalize on it. And the one thing you see all the time in a lot of games is teams throwing the game just because they're too sure of themselves and they go farming instead of pushing towers.
Yes.
And I mean, you don't win Dota by getting items or kills. You win it by killing the throne. And to do that,
yeah, Fluffystuff being engaged on. Oh, but he actually gets poison over off. That actually might hurt. They can turn it into a counter attack. Fluffystuff is, oh man, Beastmaster ends up picking up the kill. He's gonna primal roll Hannah Montana, who's a little bit out of position. The sight's still not being used. A great ultimate there going off, but he's gonna actually be taken down here. You have, you have a low dart. You have the breath of fire going off. Darkseer actually manages. Hannah Montana actually manages to get a kill there, even though he's being engaged on. J.O. continuing the dominance here with this just absurd damage, and finally taking down Razor, who does not static link him at all. Korok's finally going down, and now the advantage that we were saying they had, they actually continue with, again, being caught out of position and still able to counter it just because of the brute strength of J.O. on Lycan with his crazy items, and not to mention, look who didn't die to whole fight Dragon Knight, and he actually was engaged on initially.
Yeah, and he got a triple.
Incredible.
Well.
It's just
that Mjolnir and
the level advantage
Shadow
that is
Blade.
killing him.
Yeah.
It's the level advantage that is just completely killing them. And now the split push to take the racks. Look at that. They're split pushing Raxes. How often do you see that?
You don't often see
How
that in a
often do you
game
see
like
that
this.
in a 10-10
But they
game?
got a team wipe, and I mean they have such strong potential. DK
Meanwhile,
can push a tower
Fluffystuff is actually
really quickly.
AFK, I believe, and he's gonna die. Fluffystuff, I think, was AFK. Don't tell me that's a little bit of a BM move. Oh wow, was that a little bad manner there? Did he kill himself on purpose? Was that to show off?
Maybe just to give him a kill,
man.
maybe to make it a little bit more even. But they have mega creeps now.
They have mega. Yeah, it's over, and the GG's going down. So Complexity takes the first game unmatched. They did not even lose a tower in this 32-minute engagement. It was actually pretty interesting, despite the 10-11 scoreline. But Complexity picks up a quick 1-0 lead versus xGoSu. For those of you that don't know, this is the Play Raidcall DotA #2 championship. This is sponsored by Steel Series, Azo, MSI, Raidcall, and I believe Game 2 will be here after a short intermission. I am the Goods Volume 1 for Dota, from Dota Live, and I am casting this with Dotalicious, Aussie. We'll be back in a short intermission, guys.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, you're free to talk about whatever.
Alright,
You're off.
Perfect.
Oh, that was a great fest. That wasn't even close.
That was so boring to watch. That was so boring to cast. In all honesty, I was refraining from saying it so many times. Like, when I said I want to see them win, I was just about to say, God, this game is boring.
Pro tip,
But I can't say that.
maybe stay the whole time.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yo, it was 10-11, but it was one-sided the whole way, especially middle.
Yeah.
Mid lane, that Razor, I felt like they should have just put Korok middle and just let Razor fucking get the tri lane, because he got smashed. It wasn't even close, and he was gonna end up being the only way that they can back out of this by getting large enough to at least take one of the two out of the game with DK or Lycan. I mean, he had a static link, and how often did he static link in fights? I don't think he static linked at all. Like I saw one static link, but it wore off like super quickly. Like it's actually pretty interesting to see that type of matchup. xGoSu, man,